Question number 7 from Set A 2023 UPSC CSAT question paper. The question says, what is the remainder when this expression is divided by 100? When you are asked about remainder, when you are dividing a number by some other number, then in those sort of questions, what you do is that you look for prime factorization and then you try to approach the problem. Let's look at this problem. Before we go into this problem, solving this problem, let's see a small concept. You have been given a number A, have been asked to divide this number by a number Q, and then you are getting a remainder R. Any number which is being divided by a number, that is Q in this case, can be written in this form, right? Any number which is being divided by a number Q, and you are left with a remainder R, then that number can be written in this form, right? Where R will be less than Q, because had it been greater than Q, let's say, then Q, R would divide Q at least one time, and then you get another remainder R dash, which will be less than Q, right? So R will be greater than Q and greater than or equal to 0. Remainder 0 means N is completely divisible by Q. So a concept we probably be using some in one of the questions coming later, but useful concept to be kept in mind. Now let's solve this question. When we are being asked that whether this expression is divisible by 100 or not, so you have 100, you prime factorize this number. Why do we prime factorize this number? Is because you then are able to see this number in the form of a number, in the form of multiplication of numbers which cannot be divided further. So this is now an expression of numbers which cannot be divided further. 2 cannot be divided further, 5 cannot be divided further, right? So that's why we do prime factorization. so that we be able to see what are all numbers which are involved, what are all prime numbers which cannot be divided further, what are all prime numbers which are involved to make up this big number. Right. So we have two twos and two fives. When we say, now moving on, when we say something is completely divisible by something, then what it simply means is that n will have q in itself as a factor, right? When I was writing n is equal to mq plus r, in this case what I am saying is n is completely divisible by q, means r is 0. It means n is equal to mq, right? What does this mean? What does this mean? Q is there in M as a factor, right? So if we are able to find 100 in this expression as a factor, then what we can say is that this is divisible by 100. We have two 2's in 100 and two 5's in 100. Let's see if we have two 2's and two 5's in this 100. These two 2's and two 5's after multiplication will make 100. So if we can find these two 2's at least and two 5's at least in this expression, it means that 100 is there in this expression as a factor. 100 times some m. Q is equal to 100 and n is equal to that big expression, 85, 87, 89, 91, 95 and 96. If from where can I get 2's? 2's will always come from an even number. Where do we have an even number? We have even number here. That's the only even number. If we prime factorize this number or break it further, not completely, we can see that this is something like this, 4 into 24. So we have got two 2's. The requirement of 2's is fulfilled. Now we are left to look for 5's. Can we get two 5's? 90. So where can we get 5's? What we know about 5, multiples of 5, is that they'll always have 5 in their unit place or 0, right? So in this case we have two places where 5, two numbers in which 5 is there as at the unit place. So this can be written as 17 into 5 and this can be written as 19 into 5. So we got two 5's. So we also found two 5's and they will make up, they'll give you 100 after multiplication. It means we can write 100 as, n as 100 times some number. Let's say that number is m. So n is nothing but 100m. If we divide n by 100, what we will get? 100 into m. M is an integer. Divided by 100. This 100 and 100 cancelled. So we got m as an integer. And r is 0. The remainder. So the number is completely divisible by 100. This n is completely divisible by 100. It means remainder is 0.